What's up, Matt from Urchfab. In this video we're making a super simple welding cart. So I bought a cart for my last welder a few months ago, bolted it all together, put the bottle on it and it was all like buckling up, and I've got a super rough floor in here and the wheels don't turn properly on it and it's just absolute pile of junk. I bought some good quality caster wheels for the front, nice big ones, they should roll on my rough floor. And then some proper heavy duty ones for the back. So it's going to be a real heavy duty cart, but really simple design, real easy to make. So this is the other one that I bought. I had to go around and weld all the joins so that it didn't fall apart. I had to put a thick plate in the bottom because this back was just completely buckling. And then I put this piece in to hold the bottle. But the one I want to make, all I want is a platform, like a sort of chassis bit for the wheels to go on. I don't want any shelves because all they do is just gather dust. And so it's going to have nothing in the middle, just this platform section to hold the bottle on, and then a handle on the front to pull it around, and a couple of hooks to hang cables on. That'll be it. I'm going to make it out of some leftover box I've got from the recovery truck build.
So that'll be the bottom bit, the wheels will be sitting like that, and then the casters will be underneath the front there. And then they'll have a plate across the back here, and then the gas bottle will obviously sit there. So that'll be the sort of chassis of it, wheels and everything. And then from the side view, I'm going to sort of just design it and measure it up as I go, and then at the end I'll just do a complete cut list. So if you want to make yourself one, you'll have like a list of lengths that you can just cut and then weld it all together. And I'll put a link where I got all the wheels and everything like that from as well.
So for all this main bottom section and that one piece coming up the back there, I'm going to use some leftover 50 by 50. And then for the tray on top and that piece coming down there, I'm going to use leftover 25 by 50 box. I'll cut sort of plates out that these will bolt to, and then these will just weld to the bottom of the box. And then we'll have to do some sort of mount where we'll have a plate maybe with this welded onto it, and then you can have a nut and bolt going through and the wheel will just slide on. Stick a bolt through it and jobs are good. So first thing is have a measure up of everything and then get all the lengths cut. Alright, so I've got a few of the measurements I need. I just need to measure the bottle. So if you ever need to measure something big and round, one of these squares, one of these type of squares, or a combination square or anything like that, you've basically just got like a giant caliper. So that's just over 230, so I'll set the gap at 235 where the bottle can sit, just so it sits in there nice and tight and can't move around. Alright, so this is obviously the bottom. The big back wheels will go there, casters will go underneath there, bottle will sit in there. This is going to be the tray, which the welder is going to sit in, which will have a piece of checker plate in there sort of halfway down, so it's got a recessed edge. You could do it where you cut all your 45s into your measurement, so you're only cutting each piece once. I just prefer to do it like this, get all the lengths done with 90-degree cuts and then do the 45s after. And the reason is that it means you're only changing the angle on your saw once, and it's just easier because some of these are going to have a 90-degree one end, 45 the other, So to be forever changing your saw or trying to, I don't know, you can do it and you're going to save more material if you're doing 45-degree cuts once, obviously, and you're going to be saving life on your saw blade, but I still just do it like this because I think it's quicker and just easier. Let's set the saw up to 45 and start chopping. There's all our pieces cut. So I'm going to cap off these ends, weld it all together. So I'm going to get all this squared up and tacked up now. I've just got myself some strong hand magnets that you can turn on and off. So I should have checked this rather than going with the dial on here, because that's saying 45 and that's the cut. Nice. But these are pretty cool. It's just a lot easier when you can move stuff around without the magnet. When you're trying to square stuff up and you're using the other ones, when you have to pull them off and move them, you end up moving a lot of stuff around. So this is like a normal welding magnet, which are fine, but when you want to make a little adjustment and you can't unstick it, you end up sort of pulling things out of place. And another problem is they get all stuck with metal filings like this, but just get a wire brush. Magic. So this is going to be irritating now. I've got to fill all those gaps when I weld it up. This is 1.5mm wall box section. And if I was buying steel to do this, I would have done it out a bit thicker, but I just wanted to get rid of all this scrap. And then what I want to do is just put some little ledges in, like halfway up this box, And then I'm just going to cut out, I've got some aluminium checker plate left over. So I'll just put 4 tabs in each corner, and then the checker plate will just sit in halfway down. So there's no way the welder can fall off. Right, so I've got all these little these pieces cut. They're all going to sit just in the corners. This piece straight across the middle. So I'll weld it all in from the bottom so that it's totally flat for the plate to sit on top. So I've just got a couple of bits of 20mm. Right, I've just messed that up. I used a 20mm piece of box to space it, so that by the time I've got the thickness of those bits and the angle and the tread plate would be sitting halfway down in this box. But I've just put these in the bottom and welded from the top, which means from the top now I've got even less than half. So I'm only going to have about a 15mm ledge when the welder's sat on it, so it'll look a bit more like it's sat on it than in it. Alright, back to plan A. Put a couple of little stitches on the back and just ground all the welds out so that this can sit flush in there. So these are the plates that my wheels are just going to, I was going to bolt them to them, but I'm not. I'm just going to stitch them on with a couple of welds, just because it's easier. If I ever need to change them, I can just cut the welds off. So now I've just got to make a couple of caps for capping off the ends of the box. Weld those on, weld the bottom wheels on, and then we can get the height for the back wheels. Right, so this is where we're at so far. Now we can just set this up level and work out where the back wheel needs to mount. What I'm going to do is just have that set underneath at the back of there. And to get the wheel at the right height, this little axle tube needs to be almost hanging off the bottom. So I've put like a bevel on that edge that's going to be welded around the top so that I can grind it flat so that the wheel will slide all the way on. and then the bottom will just be welded on underneath like that. We got a roller. Drill some holes through the back of here so I can actually bolt the wheels on, which I should have done before I welded these on, but just cut this little piece, which is same radius as the gas bottle, so that's just going to sit centre on there, and then the gas bottle will just locate into that, and then have two straps around the back, so I can weld that on there now. These are just for basically some of these little straps to go through. So they'll go around through there and round the bottle. I've put these hooks on just for hanging the cables on, and so what I'm going to do is plasma cut the plates out, and then instead of painting this I'm going to oil it with linseed oil, which I've used a few times for doing bits of furniture and stuff. Gives it a cool look, it darkens the steel a little bit, and it will still sort of colour a little bit underneath the oil, but it just kind of dries like a lacquer. It will just protect it enough. I can't be bothered to paint it. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing with a sanding disc, just to get that kind of like brushed look over the whole thing, and then I'll oil it, stick those plates in, and then we're done. Wheels nice and easy on my super rough floor. All made out of scrap. 1.5mm wall box, which is makes it really light, but it's kind of a bit of a pain to weld unless you've got all your fit ups really close. If you have any gaps, it's quite easy to blow holes in it. That's the only downside of using a really thin wall box, but so it'd probably be easier to make using something a bit thicker. But so yeah, pretty much ready to load her up then. So I've done all my plasma cutting today on this, which I got given to try out a few weeks ago on this thing. So when I showed that in one of the videos I was doing on the mongrel, a load of you lot obviously went and had a look on their website, and they said that I could keep the plasma cutter, so that's pretty cool. And they've also given me a 5% discount code for anything in their shop until the end of October. So you can use the code Urchfab if you go on there and buy anything. They've got these plasma cutters, the ones I've got there, on sale at the moment, I think for $4.50. You can get them for $4.50 plus an extra 5% off of that until the end of October. So yeah, go and have a look on there, see if there's anything you need. Check them out, I'll put a link in the description. So thanks to Inverter Fusion for sorting me out with a new plasma cutter. All that's left to do now is load this thing up with a welder. And lift the spine! so there we go. It's my quick and easy-ish welding cart. Super sturdy, big wheels, rolls over all these bumps real easy, and yeah. I was originally planning on doing 2 the same, so I bought extra sets of wheels, but what I'm going to do is just put those bigger wheels onto the old cart that I bought rather than making another one, so I don't actually have enough leftover box to do it. But this was good just to get rid of those extra bits of box. Didn't cost me anything other than the wheels. So I'll put a link to the description for the wheels, and I'll put a cut list in the description as well if you wanted to make exactly the same one, but obviously you would need to know that your bottle's the same size and your welder's the same size. So for the TIG one, I probably would have just made like a little bracket in here to slot my pedal into rather than having a shelf, just because I'm not a fan of shelves because they just gather dust. So yeah, that's it for this one. I know there's probably 100 million welding cart videos on YouTube, but I think this is probably one of the simpler ones if you're going to have a go at building them yourself. So yeah, that's it for this one. Cheers for watching. Till next one.